Brian, Sam, Fox Sports Next, ScarletReport.com. Man, Rutgers' last scrimmage of training camp in the books. 12 days till Fresno State. Sam, what did you see, and why is this team going to be ready in 12 days?
Well, you can't take anything too much that seriously when you look at the stats, because it's 1 versus 2s and 1s versus 3s. But what I saw was more of an effort to get the ball moving in the running game, and you have to like that after how poorly the Rutgers ran the ball in the first scrimmage. Savon Huggins probably doubled his yards per carry in that second one in the scrimmage tonight. Desmond Peoples got 15 touches, which you got to like after battling injuries for a lot of camp. So I would say the running game stood out, and I thought that the defense, minus really 3 of its top guys in Ian Thomas and the Morrell brothers, I thought the defense answered the call after struggling in the first scrimmage.
Well, yeah, and one of the things that stood out to me is, like you said, we saw a lot of guys, and this wasn't about who's going to be a starter. I mean, yeah, right guard, they'll look at that. At this point, I'd be surprised if it wasn't Civil at right guard. I mean, or maybe Muller, but, right now, you don't make a change this late in camp and then go back. That's not usually how it works. It was more depth chart stuff. It was more who's going to be the backups, who's going to be in some packages, who can they rely on to move into the 2 deep if there's injuries in the 2 deep. That's what this scrimmage was about to me, and it was about kind of just making sure tempo was right and kind of pushing the offense along. The one thing that I keep looking at, Sam, and I know you've been to all the practices, it was nice and cool tonight. I mean, really nice and cool. There is no way it's going to be like that in the Central Valley at Fresno State in 12 days. Is that a concern at all for this team when you look at they have not had the 95-degree days back-to-back other than the day Kyle, decided to make it about 412 degrees in the bubble?
Yeah, I don't think it's a big concern, because you keep hearing, and really you see it on the field at practice, about the conditioning of this team, and they're in good shape. As a team overall, I don't think conditioning is an issue. There weren't any issues in a 3-hour practice in a 103-degree bubble. Other than the media, we might have had a few issues. That wasn't fun. But I don't expect that to be a big deal. And I mean, I get it that it's going to be hotter in Fresno, but when you're kicking off at 7:30 Pacific, it's going to be 75, 80 degrees by the end of the first quarter, and I don't expect it overall to be a big issue for this team.
Yeah, 10:30 kickoff local time for the East, so as long as they get their nap, I guess the heat isn't really a big issue. The other thing is, talking to some guys, and especially Leonte Carew and Steve Longa after the scrimmage, and these are guys that for the first time are going to be making big impacts in a game, or at least put in position to make big impacts, and they're anxious. To them, 12 days could be 12 months at this point. Are you getting the sense of some of these guys that, hey, it's time to blow out of camp and let's get ready for Fresno State? Are you getting that sense?
Definitely, especially when you look at guys like Leonte Carew. I can't imagine how hard it is for a guy like that to go from state champion Don Bosco, 80 catches, to literally just playing special teams for a full year. Or from Steve Longa, who is the star of Saddlebrook High School, to being on the scout team. Guys like that, Ruhan Peel, the same story. Desmond Peoples, guys that did not do anything last year on the field. You can sense they're ready to play football. This is why they decided to come to Rutgers, and they're ready for a big game.
You speak of Desmond Peoples, and he's a kid, we knew him at Archbishop Wood, and he put up big numbers. He ran the ball really well. He's very quick. He's got more top-end speed than people think. What kind of role do he played a lot in the scrimmage. It looks like he's healthy again. What kind of role do you see a kid like that having?
That's 2 different questions, because I think, first of all, Ron Prince and Kyle Flood have to go with the guys that are the most proven, which is Savon Huggins by far, and I think Paul James is a little more proven in terms of his consistency and time spent in the program. But I think that Desmond Peoples is a guy that needs to get a handful of touches a game. He's the only back on the roster with the level of quickness and acceleration off tackle to the outside that anyone else has. Justin Goodwin has shown some speed, but he's a true freshman. When you're looking to go off tackle, or I guess you would say a change of pace back, until Desmond Peoples gets hurt, you got to go with him. Durability is a question because he's battled injuries really his whole football life, but he's healthy right now. He looked good tonight, and he's someone that needs to have a role in the 2013 offense.
Rutgers has a day off on Sunday, 2-a-day on Monday, break camp Tuesday, and it's get ready for Fresno State. ScarletReport.com will be there for all of it.